Well, good morning to all my beautiful fellow traders out there. It's 5:30. Oh, excuse me, 5:30 in the morning. Still kind of stretching and working out the kinks this morning. Monday, July 22nd. Another glorious trading week kicking things off. I am Jonathan Van Kloot, and I'm going to tell you what I see going on in the markets this morning. And all I ask in return is that you click that thumbs up button. Help me out with a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you find it interesting, useful, informational, educational, boring as hell, whatever. Just go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that I can keep you informed on what I'm doing in the future. I would really appreciate that. And with that, let me go ahead and jump in. Now, we've got some interesting things happening at the moment. Friday was quite the day. You can see it very clearly right there. Friday, big down day. And especially at the end of the day, I mean, you can see right there. Well, actually, hang on. What time is that exactly? Let's take a look. That is, yep, that's the close. That's what I thought. So basically, right there, all of a sudden, things just started to tank. And I was actually out already. I grabbed a scalp in RTY somewhere right in here. I forget exactly where. I'll see it when I look at that chart. But anyway, end of the day, I was out and just kind of watching the markets. It was the end of the day, going into a weekend, last hour, 2 hours or so, actually like hour. I really wasn't that interested in jumping in and chasing this move. Didn't even know what was going on. I didn't know why all of a sudden this started happening because I don't follow news at all. And this would have been one of the rare occasions where I think it might have actually been useful and informational in a trading sense to follow the news. Turns out, of course, the stuff hit the fan with Iran. Hey, that rhymes. And we have them taking some ships hostage and all this kind of craziness. And clearly that was not great for the markets. Everybody starts to freak out and sell off and so forth. But the part I find really interesting is look where it sold off to. Look at that. Here is the sort of line in the sand, right? It's this low here, the higher low, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, right? And we made a higher low. So yeah, fear, 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 fear. But look at that. Did not hit the previous higher low, did not break the previous higher low. Well, what does that mean? That means that the uptrend is still intact. It has not been impacted. It has not changed. So I am actually, because we still did make a higher low, I am going to go ahead and move this. And I'm going to move it actually to not the wick, but the body of this candle. And that's just a little trick of mine that I was taught. So anyway, right now, take a look at where we are. The green candle. We are bounced back up. Yesterday, market opened Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. my time, local in California, Pacific time, and had some initial push up, kind of right out of the gate. Actually, opening was where was the open? Looks like it was right around there, I believe. And just up and up and up, and it's been up overnight. It held up. I actually grabbed a little scalp right in here again in RTY yesterday. And just because I felt there could be a pop in whichever direction the market opened in, but I wasn't sure if it was going to hold. I wasn't sure what was going to happen overnight. And overnight, we're up. And not only are we up, but we're near the highs. So right now, anyway, the buyers are in charge. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens at the open. Did the retail public panic this weekend after Friday's news, after the close, and put in a ton of sell orders that are just sitting there waiting to execute this morning at the open? And we're going to have a push down. If that happens, it'll be really, really important to see, do we break that line? Because if we come right to it or near it and kiss it, do not break it, then again, as I said, the uptrend is intact. Simple as that. Don't trade what you think, trade what you see, stick with what is, not with what you think might be or could be or maybe or whatever. So anyhow, that's that. The uptrend is intact. I mean, the bulls are clearly still in control. On the daily, oscillator is up. The 60, of course, because of that big down move the end of Friday, we did break the zero line to the downside, but now we've come right back over again. MACD line crossed to the upside. Momentum is heading up, and if this momentum on the 60 gets over that zero line, we can certainly expect to see follow through from there. And if the 13 EMA can get over the 50 SMA, there I would expect follow through on that as well to the upside. So Just again, keep an eye on that low. That is the level. If we break that, then we're going to watch very, 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 very closely on that level there. That is our line in the sand. If that gets broken, we got a problem. And then we have to see what happens. We would then have the lower low, but do we have a lower high? We wouldn't technically be in a trend reversal yet, but we'd have to keep a real close eye on what's going on to see if, in fact, we get one, if we make a lower high. So those are our two levels here and here that we have to watch really, really closely on the S&P. All right, RTY. I kind of dwelled on S&P for a little while there, but here's the RTY. And once again, here, if I zoom in here, you can see we opened right there, and it's just been up. This last hour, it kind of poked down again, but look at that. The buyers just shoved it right back up again. So it looks to me like the bullish momentum is definitely there. We are still in our lovely flag pattern here. Whoops, that was kind of sloppy. That's more like what I was trying to do. So we've got that flag right there. And as long as that does not break to the downside sharply, then the flag pattern is perfectly intact. And really, I mean, I don't like those names like flag pattern, cup and handle, and all of those because they're subjective. People will sit there and debate and argue, oh, is this a flag? Is this a cup and handle? Does it count? Is it head and shoulders? Blah, 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 whatever. Dow theory, bottom line, end of story, price action, higher highs and higher lows. Right now, we got a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. That's it. The trend is intact. So much as I did with the S&P, I'm going to adjust this trend line for right now. I'm going to go ahead and put it right there. And I'm doing that because we do still have an intact higher highs and higher lows. We've not violated this, so I am perfectly valid in just adjusting that trend line rather than making a new one. So there we go. We're still in our channel, our horizontal channel there. And you can see it. Well, it's not really horizontal, but you know what I mean. It's definitely a parallel channel. That's the word I was looking for, parallel. And right now, anyhow, we have bounced off the bottom of the channel. I was actually looking at this the end of Thursday, I think it was, I think it was the end of Thursday, talking with somebody about how it's bouncing off this and the next target could be the top of the channel here. And so far, we're halfway there. So we'll have to see what happens. Do we get all the way up to the top of this channel, 1555 or so, or do we get stopped by the 50 SMA? The oscillator is bullish, of course, on the daily, still above the zero line, although it's trending down, starting to get kind of close to that zero line. So that's a little bit, I don't know, worrisome is probably too strong a word, but just something to be aware of. And right now on the short term, 60-minute MACD above the signal line is heading towards that zero line, getting very, very close. Not quite there yet, but getting close. And the momentum also is looking to try to get over the zero line. So today, I think, is going to be a very important day. What happens? It'll be very interesting to see. I don't suspect it's going to be a sideways day. I suspect after the scare over the weekend and what all is going on out there that we're going to see some movement today. But hey, what do I know? Anything could happen. We'll just have to see what happens when the markets actually open in 40 minutes or so, 42 minutes. So, 50 minutes, 52 minutes. I can't add this morning, apparently. So anyhow, RTY trend is still up, technically speaking. So, got to just trade it accordingly. That's what we're looking at here. So give the market some time to get the wiggles out this morning, just what I always do. Give it that first 30 to 60 minutes or so to see what it wants to establish, and then trade with the direction of the trend. All right, let's take a peek at oil. And no surprise, a little bit of a pop in oil. But we are in a concerning, or concerning is the wrong word. We're in an important area, okay? By my analysis, we had our 5 waves here, 3, 4, 5. Oops, sorry. I misdrew that. I meant to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's our wave 3. So we have a completed wave 3, and then we pulled back for a perfect textbook wave 4 to the 61.8. Absolutely on the nose, ridiculously accurate, and then bounced from there. And then now we had some follow through the upside. Now, of course, the general expectation, if there's conflict in the Middle East, is that that's going to be bullish for oil prices, right? But how much of that is already priced in? It's not like it's a complete shock that there is tensions have boiled over in the Middle East. I mean, that's sort of been expected for a while now. And it's not that surprising. So this is just, at the moment, as far as I'm concerned, this is a textbook technical play. Simple as that. And the next wave is up for a wave 5. Once we break that high, we will have a confirmation of a wave 5, in which case I am looking for it to get to, here's the first level, second level. So those are the two areas to really watch for. This is going to be a more minor level, but still significant. It is on a daily, so that is going to be an important level. But first, actually, the very first is going to be this high here. Of course, it's got to get over that high. Then this is the second level. This is the third level, and then from there, we if that gets broken, we got to be very, very careful, because that should be the end of a wave 5, and it could end at any moment. And then we get a nice big correction of the whole thing before we start over again. So looking at the shorter term time frame, the bulls are back, basically taking control, but we're just barely hanging above the daily oscillator right now. And it's not that surprising, given that we had the 61.8 retracement. And now we're looking to head to the upside. So it looks to me like we already have a wave 1, a wave 2, and now we are in wave, I think we're probably in wave 2 of 3. There's our 1, there's our 2, and now we're looking to go to the upside, wave 3 of 3. But we may or may not be done quite yet. We might still be in 2. We can't know for sure. So this morning's open is going to be really important to see what happens when the bulk of the traders are kind of up and active. This is oil, so it's not subject to the U.S. market hours exactly, but still, the U.S. market hours are when most of the traders are just up and trading. So it still has a good chance of shaking things up a little bit. We'll have to see what happens. But right now, anyway, the 13 has crossed the 50 on the short-term 60-minute. The 13 has crossed below the 50 on the daily chart, but of course, not surprising because of that pullback. So we're just in an important area here. We need to hold this low and head higher, and just watch for that. But right now, technically, anyway, I am looking for higher highs, higher lows ahead. And right now, anyhow, I would say that we've got a trend line adjustment to make. Where's my dot? That's not it. Where's my point? I can't find it. Oh, it's down here. Haha, no wonder I can't find it. Let's try that again. There it is. And I am looking at that as my current trend line. So as long as that gets held and continues to the upside, then we're good. Price gets over that 50, we'll be in much better shape. So right now, bulls are definitely in charge to the upside. So be prepared to trade in that direction. Of course, if you're an intraday scalper, whichever direction the trend gives you, just make sure you're using at least 2 time frames. Always, always, always. I keep seeing stuff, even as recently as Friday, in some of the trading groups that I lurk in, of people asking, "What's the best time frame? What is the best? What time frame do you trade?" And nobody should be trading 1 time frame. Just don't do it. Trade at least 2, always. All right, well, enough of that. Let's look at gold. And gold had a big pop higher on Friday, but then just sold right back down again. Very, very interesting. So there are aggressive sellers right up here. Either that, or the buyers were just super nervous and not willing to buy up at that level. I tend to think it's probably sellers, but I mean, who knows? Who cares? Doesn't actually really matter all that much to me. It's just, what is the price doing right now? The price is still up. We are still in higher highs and higher lows, and we've gone very sideways here for the last couple of sessions, and just basically building our strength. It looks like the momentum is creeping to the upside. This looks like a good acquisition accumulation period here. We had a first little test from the bulls to see what would happen if we get up here, and then boom, they got pushed right back down again. But that means those sellers are no longer sitting up there in the market. So next chance the bulls get back up there, they should have a better shot at breaking that level. So I'll have to keep an eye on what happens. But at the moment, anyway, everything is looking good for this being a wave 5. And we also got to be careful, because the wave 5 can sometimes be a little bit unpredictable, take unusual patterns and shapes. It doesn't always have to follow a perfect textbook 5 waves up. Wave 5 itself can actually sometimes be an ABC, so we got to watch out for that. And there are just definitely cautionary signals here up in a wave 5. We can see the momentum is draining out of the market, so we want to be careful. If you're chasing at this level, be really cautious, because it might not get any higher than this. Who knows? It could just kind of chop around here for a while before giving up, and then we get our big correction. So just be careful in this market if you're chasing price at this level. If you haven't bought gold yet, be real careful, because a retracement could be coming in the near future. All right, natural gas. Let's take a peek at that. And natural gas has had a little pop here today, this morning. Big push up, but did not really establish higher high. So we are still, at the moment, technically, lower lows, lower highs. Momentum is trying to get over the zero line on the 60, but it actually just broke below the zero line on the daily. So what do we have here? Yeah, this is my wave count at the moment, though quite frankly, I'm not wild about this wave count. Um, it's kind of short. I'm thinking these actually are more intraday waves. But this is what I have to go on. It's just that simple right now. This is what I got. And based on this, we did get our pullback to the 61.8, a little bit beyond it, got down to probably even just a hair beyond the 76.4 if I had it drawn on this chart. And then all of a sudden, a pop right up to the 61.8 level. So this is an important moment for natural gas. Do we hold and head higher? Right now, we're holding above this previous higher low and a key retracement level. So we need to see this price hang here, hold here, and go higher if we're going to see a continued uptrend. So that is what I'm looking for. We just need to see that happen. Right now, of course, price did break this trend line, although if this is a full 5-wave cycle, that's exactly what I expect anyway. So that's not any cause for concern. So far, this is still perfect technical trading. Everything is holding and looking great. So if you are an intraday trader, a scalper, what have you, kind of sideways right now. I mean, you can see down, up, down. It's a bit on the choppy side. But if you're truly just scalping, I mean, you're only looking to capture a small piece anyway. Just maybe a handful of ticks, maybe a couple dozen ticks, something like that, depending on what your style is, who you are as a trader. But at the moment, the trend is still down. Technically speaking, on the 60, the trend is down. We do not yet have higher highs and higher lows. So watch for that. We need to either hold this low and hold higher than that, or break this high and hold higher than that. So those are our levels to watch. Anything inside there, you're trading sideways. You're trading the chop. So make sure that you know how to trade the chop, because that's kind of a specialty, and not everybody is cut out for it. So if you want more of a trend trade, you want to catch a move, then that's what you're waiting for. Wait for a break of those highs, a break and hold of those highs, or a break and hold of those lows. All right, let's wind up on Bitcoin, crypto. And I mean, hasn't really done much the last few sessions, just kind of sideways. But it's looking good for this being the A, B, C, oops, C of the weekly for a wave 3 completion, and then a wave 4 completion. That would be 4 down here, and then next is going to be 5 to the upside. So we don't have confirmation of that yet. We're looking like maybe 1, and then maybe we have a 2, and then maybe a 3. But it's too early to tell. We really can't see it right now. At the moment, just kind of sideways. You can see it here, mostly in this area here, chopping around, and we've been here before as well. So there is some sellers, or there were some sellers up in this general area here. There definitely are sellers, or really more like in that general area there. So we've got a minor sell zone around here, but they've already sold. They sold here. They sold here. They also, it looks like, have sold, in the past in these two areas. I mean, this is even all the way back here. I mean, this whole area here is a significant one. And there's a lot of resistance at that sort of 11,000 or so level. And so not surprisingly, the sellers have been selling, but that means they're out of the market. They have done their selling. So they're not sitting there anymore. So eventually, I believe that Bitcoin is going to break higher and continue. The 50-day SMA trend, no question, is still up. 13 EMA is above the 50. We're looking good there. MACD line about to cross the zero line to the upside. Hasn't crossed the signal line yet after this wave C down, but everything's looking good for a continuation to the upside. We did get a wave C that pulled down to about between the 38.2 and the 50%. So not a super strong pullback, but that also fits with what I believe is going on in crypto, because that suggests our next move up, our next wave 5 up, is going to be a strong one. Doesn't always have to, of course, but that's the suggestion. So right now, anyway, those are my expectations. That is what I am looking to trade with. Is crypto still bull market very, very much intact? But we do have, and we're going to continue to have, quite a bit of resistance to the upside. Actually, I can't see the stuff from a while back. I don't have the data in TradeStation. But yeah, we know there's big resistance up here at basically all the even $1,000 marks, usually 11,000, 12,000, 13, 14. We're going to see some sellers coming out at those big round hole numbers. But I suspect that we are on track for probably testing the all-time highs later this year. Hey, market can make a fool of me. We shall see. Nothing is certain. But at the moment, technically speaking, that's what's happening. The trend is up. So don't argue it. Don't fight it. Go with the trend. Right now, this trend is big time up for that wave 5. All right. Let's peek at the S&P again. Nothing new, nothing exciting going on there. So just get ready for the trading day. We've got 40 minutes to the opening bell. So go get yourself your coffee, your water, your whatever else you need, your breakfast, what have you, and get ready for an exciting day ahead. I think this is going to be a day of some movement, some volatility. But we'll have to see. Market could also just hold its breath. It is summer, after all, and summer is traditionally the low volume time of year. We've kind of been seeing that, a bit of the summer blahs, but hey, throw in a little global conflict that always stirs things up. We'll see if that VIX can't take a little spike to new highs. Who knows? Anyway, that's it for me. I'm Jonathan Van Kloot on Monday, July 22nd. And once again, give me a thumbs up. That's all I ask for in return for these analyses that I do for you, is a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you liked this. And that's it for me. Go get ready for trading. If you're in the markets today, have a great day. Good luck to you and trade well. Have a green day, all that good stuff. I'll do this again on Wednesday morning. So until then, see ya.